videos for a good year, I think. I just want to take a moment before I get into the 2023 predictions. I wanted to let everybody know how grateful I am for all of your support and love over all of last year when I was doing the podcast with Heather. It was the Amanda and Heather show. If you never listened to it, you are always welcome to go on to Spotify to check it out. We had a great time together. We had a great chemistry working together. It was so much fun. We loved all of your comments and feedback. Unfortunately, though, just as life always does with all of us, is it took Heather and I into two different directions. And so as of June, I believe we did our last podcast. So as of right now, we're January 2023. Happy New Year. We do not have any more podcasts, and at this time we do not have any coming up, but I hope that you all enjoy my YouTube video today on the 2023 predictions. And I'm getting excited about going back to doing YouTube videos with right now with doing monthly card readings for you all for what's going on each month. So hopefully you guys will enjoy that and you will find it helpful and supportive in your everyday life. And yes, please comment below and let me know if this is what you'd like to see more of, or if you'd like me to go back to the meditations or do something else. Just let me know. Please comment below or send me a message in another way, and I will definitely look at that and think seriously about doing it. So thank you once more for all your support, and let's get into these 2023 predictions because yeah, a little heavy, but we're doing this together and we'll get through it. So let's go here. Okay. When I sat in meditation and asked Spirit in regards to what was going on just throughout the world, I was really drawn to Europe first. And in Europe, I just felt a lot of pain, sadness, fear going on, but more in a, I know this will sound a little bit strange, but more to do with a positive. It's a positive thing. So yes, people are feeling pain, sadness, and fear, but it's causing people to act in a positive way where it's pushing them out of their comfort zones to look at change. And okay, now I'm going to say this, which doesn't sound so positive, but I do see a lot of rioting throughout Europe, especially France, where we've already started to see that in Paris. And I see that sort of continuing throughout 2023, but it's promoting that crumbling of society, crumbling of old structures, old way of doing things, illusions, that sort of thing, to create something more positive, which is great. Sorry, I'm going to come back to Europe, but then I sort of got pushed to China. I know that there's a lot going on in China right now, and again, a positive thing with people standing up for their human rights. Really important there to start doing that and to be in their truth, taking back their power. However, my feeling for 2023 is that nothing is really going to change in China at this time. The energies in China are still very locked into this structure, this tyranny, very much in this old system of living and being. So I don't see things changing in China for this year. However, I did feel very strongly that in 2024, things would start to crumble and crack and break in China for the better and more positive to rebuild. So China, the people still need to be doing what they're doing, standing up for their rights and fighting for it. the energy is just still locked into that old structure, that old heaviness. But I do feel strongly that by 2024, they will start to, just the beginnings. I'm not saying it's going to be over. It's not. It's going to be the beginnings of that old energy to start crumbling and cracking and breaking. And what the people are trying to push for and do will start to happen. It will start to become more positive, and they will start to see results in 2024, the beginnings of it. Okay. So back to Europe. Sorry, I just, for some reason, when I sit and meditate, and the messages come in, this is how I wrote it down is exactly how the messages came in and how Spirit spoke to me. So if it seems like I go a little bit back and forth, it did make sense when I was in that state. So going back to in Europe, unrest will continue to spread, a restlessness of the people. And this is going to cause, which is great, this is going to cause people to start looking elsewhere. And I really see it starting, I kept going to the country. So different countries, okay. What I mean by that is, let me back up here. So in different countries in Europe, my energy kept going to the people who lived out in the country. So not in the city, but outside the city. And the people there were just like, okay, this isn't working for us. We're not feeling supported by government. We're not feeling supported by these systems that used to support us, and they are going to I see them coming together and starting to create their own way of doing things, their own way in supporting each other and helping the young people move forward and progress, as well as creating new systems. And it's really going to be just the beginning of this happening in 2023 for them. And so again, really, really good. Really positive. So even though there might seem like on the surface a lot of rioting, unrest, anger, fear, pain, it's actually going somewhere. It's pushing people out of their comfort zones to take their power back and to actually go and start something new. It's excellent. So that's really, really exciting and really encouraging. Just making sure I got all of this. And as they start to do this, it's going to create a dominoes effect and gain momentum and movement. I see this in Italy especially. Moving into, I got Asia and South Pacific issues with environment. Sorry, my cat just came in, Angel, and he's playing with the cord, of course. Asia and the South Pacific are going to see some really intense torrential rains, mudslides, as well as flooding. That's what I was getting, flooding. I keep forgetting the word flooding. Flooding, torrential rains, some mudslides. I keep seeing mud, just a lot of mud and a lot of torrential rain, just downpours. Some possible earthquakes, possible volcano eruptions, but I really saw the rain. It just really heavy rains, and that's really going to be Asia and the South Pacific, or even just Pacific. I also couldn't get a timeline in this. I really pushed for a timeline within this year for them, but I didn't get one. It almost feels like it's going to be something that is going to be a big issue for them constantly throughout this year. Okay. And sorry, going back to Europe again, I really didn't want to leave Europe. Europe has a nicer energy to me than North America, and understand why when I get back to North America, or when I go to North America. I just liked the energy. It's a little bit lighter, it's a little bit more progressive, more movement. So that's why I keep going back to Europe. But the financial aspect of Europe also feels like there's new beginnings there happening, and really, really fantastic. So what I just want to get this right for you. So there is a new approach towards the financial sector taking place. I felt three people. One man sticks out in front to me. There's a woman beside him a little bit back, and then another male in the background. I know you're going to be like, who are they? I don't know who they are. And we may not know who they are ever. These are people that are working in the background to find ways of changing the way we do our economy and our the financial aspect of Europe and the world, and trying to shift that into something that's more positive, progressive, and for the common person. I didn't feel anything to do about the wealthy in this at all. This was for the everyday person, the person who works really hard, middle class, lower. And I also feel like a strategy to really help the poverty, get rid of poverty, and work on bringing them back into the fold, and creating abundance and wealth for them. And it feels so positive and great. I don't exactly know specifically what they're doing. Again, very beginning stages this year. I do think Europe is going to see a little bit of it. How that's going to play out, I'm not sure. But I do think it's a really positive way of moving forward. So again, sort of tying in with everything that's sort of happening in Europe, with the people pushing for change and doing it themselves. So same type of energy push, influencing the whole of Europe this year, which is great. And again, I can't stress enough, it's new beginnings. So don't expect to see like massive changes and like huge results happening. We're in the very, very beginning stages. This is going to continue throughout these next years into 2030s. So again, don't expect massive changes this year. New beginnings within Europe as well as our financial sector. And it's going to create more balance for the wealth within Europe, which is what we need to see, because it is quite unbalanced. Well, it's unbalanced everywhere. We know that. Oh yes, there was another thing that I did pick up, because I did pull cards on this. When this starts coming out, I do think there's going to be some media towards this throughout 2023. And I do think there's going to be some, of course, negative media around it, because there's going to be certain people who won't like this and who don't want this to happen. And it feels like I got the card of Seven of Swords, and the Seven of Swords is dishonesty, people lying, and people know also that these are lies. So I feel like there's going to be a little bit about that around these new ways of doing things, to do with the finances in Europe, and the economy. But again, I felt it was weak. And I do feel strongly that people will know that they're lies or it's dishonest. So again, use your own discernment, tap into your own intuition, make sure that you're not listening to outside influences. Feel with it within yourself, if it makes sense with you or if it aligns with you or not. And that's how you're going to know if this is real or not for you, or if it's a positive thing. Okay. Yes, and I did say that this approach will gain more momentum in the 2030s. This is the groundwork on a new system that will spread well and support everyone. I just want to like one more time emphasize how great this is, because I really, really felt that whatever this new system coming in is really going to support everybody. And when I say everybody, it's going to support, I felt more us people who work hard every day, and the lower classes, that sort of thing. It's a new form of abundance, a new form of wealth that will be more balancing and inclusive for everybody. We're starting very slowly to break down those structures of hierarchy within the financial institution that is just beginning, and it's beginning in Europe right now. So really, really positive, and this, like I said, will spread out into the 2030s. Okay, so yes, I have to get to North America, and I live in Canada. I'm going to tell you why this was so hard to feel the energies of North America, and I am specifically talking about the United States and Canada. It's very, very heavy. The energies over the States and Canada are super heavy, super dark. And I can tell you specifically why. Specifically, it's our politics. Our politics suck our countries dry. They suck the people dry. They suck our land dry. They have a stranglehold over our countries, and they prevent us from progressing and moving forward in a positive way. I would love to say it's something else. I would love to say, give you something else, but that is what the energy feels like to me, and that's how it is. Until the people of the States and Canada realize that there is nothing good, there is nothing positive, not even a little tiny bit, to do with our governments. Until the people realize that, we are going to be stuck in this continuous place of non-movement and a lot of lies and illusions. We need more people to realize that it doesn't matter who you vote for. It doesn't matter if your candidate gets in or not. It doesn't matter. Nothing is going to change, because there can possibly be good politicians, but they're going to be on the lower levels, and they will never, ever be allowed to go up. And it's because the system is rigged that way. And our governments are rotten at the core. The whole system has to change, has to crumble, has to be revamped completely and redone if we want to see any actual positive progression in the right direction in our countries. I wish there was something more, but there's not. It's the governments are broken. They're rotten to the core. That's all I can say to you. And the other thing I wanted to let you guys know too, whether you're aware of this or you're not, whether you support the governments and the so-called democracy, which is a complete lie, because that's not how our governments are run, by the way, but maybe you don't believe that, okay, and you do believe in the democracy of our government. So there's positive energy from that group of people. And then on the other side, we have a group of people who, like myself, have my same views and see that it is rotten to the core and needs to be changed. But at the same time, there's a lot of negativity thrown out at the governments. Whether it's positive or negative, you're feeding the system. If you want to stop what is going on, you have to stop feeding the system. Stop giving your energy to this. When you pull your energy out, you will starve it. And that's when we'll see the crumbling. That's when we'll see it falling apart. But the more you give, whether it's positive or negative, the more you feed it. And the politicians don't care. They love it. Whether you're positive or negative towards them, they love it because they know you're feeding them. They have your attention. They are affecting you. They are continuing with some kind of control over you. I'm going off a little bit in a tangent here on this, but I just wanted to put that out there from the energy I was feeling. Okay, you can take this or leave it. It's completely up to you. Okay, let's move forward. In Canada, and I'm going to start with Canada first, because that's where I live. Okay, I have 3 pages, you guys, we're on the second page. Okay. So, like I said, in North America, the politics is still strangling the people and their way of life. Okay, so I went on about this, so we don't need to do this. Right. So I did I pull this for... Yes, okay. So yes, I remember what I did here. So, sorry you guys. There's a lot of information. So I pulled a card in regards to the theme of the energy of Canada for this year and the people, to do with, yes, our theme, what we'll be working on this year, what this year is all about for the people of Canada. And I got the card, the Justice card. And so the Justice card is the karma card, actually. It's about finding balance and justice where there hasn't been justice, where there hasn't been a true healthy balance in something. And the justice has been lost. There's been an imbalance. And this really, I feel like, is on the individual level, that each one of us needs to work on looking at ourselves and our own world, our own life, and see where we've lost the justice, the balance, where there needs to be some rebalancing, some healing, new boundaries, new understanding of ways of doing things that haven't served us in the past, that are not supporting us in a positive way, and that we need to gain back our power in ourselves, in our world, in our life, and do some really deep inner healing and find justice for ourselves. And yes, it can go to a larger extent to the country of Canada, but in different ways too. But it comes down first to the individual. If you are understanding what justice means for you, if you're understanding what serves you and supports you and really holds you well in what you do for yourself, and what and who you allow into your world, then that trickles out and it affects other people as well. It affects other systems and other structures within our world and in how we work in Canada together. Because though you may not know every single person in this country, all of our energies are connected, and we support or we push away from each other. And this is a time to really come together within yourself, within your world, and really help. Be there for the land. This is supposed to be the land of the free. What does that mean to you? What does that mean within yourself? If we live in a land of the free, do you feel like you're free? Do you feel like you're free in your world? Do you feel like you're free within your workplace, within your family, within your finances, within your play, within flexibility and how you do and move and work with things and how you interact with people and relationships? Do you feel free? Really, really important. And if you don't, why? And if you say, well, it's because of something or someone over here, well, you've just given your power away to that something or someone. Take your power back, take on some responsibility, and create a shift. You can do it. You just have to put some effort into it. But by doing this, you clear away a lot of lower energies, heaviness, stagnation, and you get things moving again into a positive direction and create a positive, stable, secure, and happier, hopefully, foundation for yourself and world. So this is a really big one, that Justice card for Canada, for the individual, for everybody this year here. And if you need more information in regards to this specifically, or specifically for yourself and how to do this, please reach out to me and I might be able to help you or direct you in some way that hopefully is helpful and supportive. So don't be shy in reaching out. I'm here for you. Like I said, we're all connected. We're all here to support and honor each other. So let's do it. Okay. So yes, this is a big one because I have quite a few people I know and clients. Some of you are listening, I'm sure, and I'm sure you've been waiting for this. So I did sit down and I did stay in this area for quite a long time because I really wanted to get it right for you. It has to do with the banks and our financial system here in Canada. There has been a lot of talk that the banks are going to suddenly shut down and we were going to not be able to access our money. We're going to be cut off from all of our money and we would feel stranded basically. And basically we would have issues with buying anything, going to the grocery stores, that sort of thing. So this has been lurking for, well, it's been lurking around for a long time. And it is always a possibility, for sure. The world's economy is in the toilet. It's done. And when I pulled cards, I got it for Canada specifically. But yes, I did get, I got the Ten of Swords, which, yeah, we've hit rock bottom pretty much. But I also did get the Judgment card as well. So I did spend a long time in this area because, like I said, a lot of people are feeling the stress and are basically preparing and waiting for the banks to shut down or feel like it's a big possibility, especially for this year. So I stayed in the energy of this for a long time and I kept going back to it. And I really hope I'm right. I feel strongly that I am, but I do not see or feel that the banks will be shutting down, not to the extreme that people have been expressing and feeling. I really don't, and I really hope I'm right in this. Like I said, I stayed so long in this area to make sure I got it right. I just didn't see or feel it. However, a big however, we're not wrong in how bad the banks are doing and how badly our financial and economy health in Canada is. And it like I said, it's hit rock bottom. I can tell you right now what I feel is in the background. And this has nothing to do with the elite. This has to do with people who work in the bank but are rather higher up, but not that high up, that still have power within the banking system who are trying desperately to keep things going. Now, I am aware that the banks have been buying up gold like crazy. That didn't come from my intuition. I have been aware of that. And I know a lot of people have said there's reason, like they're trying to get all the gold so they have it. My feeling though, when I was in this space of energy intuitively, my feeling is that they're grabbing up all the gold to try to help stabilize the economy so the banks have something. I don't know if that makes sense or not. I'm not great when it comes to the financial institution and economy and that. Like, it's not, doesn't come naturally to me. I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense, but that's sort of what I was getting. What else was I getting? So I did feel that this winter will be the worst for the banks, and that, like I said, there are people in the background who are trying to figure out a new way of actually shifting into a better system. And surprisingly, I felt that this place was the most positive that I felt when I was feeling the energy of Canada and the States was a little bit in this area. There are people who do not want to see the banks shut down because that is a big possibility, but they are working very, very hard to shift energy and to create something that will start to stimulate more growth within. And I feel like there will be positive changes. It's like I said, it's going to be slow and gradual. It's not going to be immediate. But this summer, we may even see a slight change or something new within the banks. This summer we might see like a little one or really small, a little bit of something new coming in that they're going to be offering to people. I have no idea what that means or what that's about, but it will be a sign of progress and moving forward and a shifting in a different direction. I do feel strongly for more, I'm not sure about the States, but Canada. 2024 will be a better year for us in moving in the right direction. Unfortunately, we still, like again, with the banks too, the government is fully in it and has full control over it. So that makes it very hard for these people to work in a more positive direction. But I do have another thing. Let me just make sure. Yeah, I got that. I also looked into the energy of the Great Reset. So this is the World Economic Forum's Great Reset of 2030, connected with the United Nations 2030 agenda. If you are not aware of what these agendas are, you can look them up on their website. It's very easy. It's been there for years. All the information, you can research and figure out what this all means yourself, and you should. It's there. So on the World Economic Forum, the Great Reset, and the United Nations 2030 agenda. Anyways, I hooked into the energy of the Great Reset, and I was actually really surprised. But my feeling here, especially in Canada, is the push forward with this Great Reset towards 2030 has stalled. It feels like a very heavy energy to me, and it's just sitting there. It just feels like it's stalled, like there's nobody there pushing